On y'all, it's Mr. Marvin, aka the Mobile Motivator, aka Mr. Colgate, coming at you. And I'm behind the camera so you can hear me talking, but I got my parents in front of the camera and they're gonna do next week's topic, which is gonna be coming to you on YouTube, and I'm gonna post it on Facebook and everything else. So this week, and I kind of bombarded them, so I want you guys to listen carefully because this is all truthful answers. It's not scripted, it's not rehearsed or anything. So this topic that I'm gonna be talking to y'all about is commitment. See, a lot of y'all out there are looking at relationships with the Kim Kardashians and the Beyoncés and all that, and y'all are seeing celebrities divorced left and right, and nobody's taking marriage serious. So I got my parents here. They've been married for 30+ years. I'll let them tell you the exact number and everything. But I'm asking some rounded questions, and my dad, he can't go for a while, so I'm gonna have to cut him a little short. So y'all know where I get the skills from. But anyway, alright. So, what would be y'all's definition of commitment? Ladies first.
Commitment, trusting in each other, listening to each other, just basically being there for each other.
Alright, Dad.
Commitment is an understanding. First and foremost, you must understand what commitment is all about. Commitment is saying that I'm not always right and I'm not always wrong. The thing is that we agree upon whatever the situation may be. You must have trust in commitment. You must have those things that you used to say that I have a difference in. That you understand that now I can trust someone to say that I do have a difference.
There's also a little bit of give and take in each situation. Sometimes I have to give more than he do, and sometimes he has to give more than I do.
So we have to see this thing as a trust factor about our commitment. Trusting in each other, whether it be how we decide on making our situations with our families, trusting in knowing that the other one has the other one's back.
Okay. So, how would you say that commitment translates into a person trying to achieve goals and success and do the things that they want to do and achieve in life?
Yeah, well, goals, when you say to achieve goals, the achievement in goals, first and foremost, we must understand about the art of leadership and how to lead within a family. There's things that we know that we first and foremost understand that God is the head of our life. So that starts the commitment right there. Understanding that if it had not been for the love and compassion that God had for us, then we wouldn't be able to share love that we have for one another today. So it's the goal first set with the family understanding that we are under authority. And that sets the tone for the family. It sets not only the tone for the family, but it gives us the encouragement and understanding about how to be positive and not so much being negative.
And also commitment it starts from the beginning. Once you start to establish a relationship and you need to sit down and talk to that partner of what you expect out of each other and what you expect out of life and what you expect out of how you're going to bring your family up. All that deals with commitment, because if you're not committed from the beginning, you're going to have a whole lot of problems and a lot of failures within that marriage. And commitment, it's just not only financial wise, it's in all areas of a marriage life. So commitment is one of the basic things that you have to have as a person. You want to be committed to him no matter what his faults are and no matter what your faults are. You got to be committed to work these things out and talk about these things and just work on them.
Okay. All right, so now, what would you say is the main factor of why people do not succeed in marriage as well as in other success areas of their life?
Well, first and foremost, you have to understand when two people from different backgrounds come together, they have different sets of values that they've been taught. There are some things that we call generational curses, where we think it was right, but it was absolutely wrong.
Right.
So when we come together within a marriage, it's a thing now we have to understand that there's two families
coming together
as one.
That's one.
And there are things that I didn't know about within her family structure, my wife's family structure, and she didn't know about in my family structure. But when we got the knowledge of the things that we thought that was right within our families, and now the commitment of saying, you know, I don't want that to be a part of my family. Because now we have a new generation that we're training, and a new generation that we have a commitment that we want to come from one area and move into another. So if our family had a lot of negative vibes that caused my wife and I to turn around and have confusion within the family, then we knew that it didn't come from us. It came from where we came from. So now we have to understand that it's called generational curses. So now we're moving to an area where we have an understanding of saying, you know what, I understand. That's the way you used to do things when you were coming up. But now we want to come from that stage and move into another arena to what looks right, and what is right.
Okay.
Well, he hit the nail on the head, because a lot of times when we grow up as in different families, we bring different things to the pot, and sometimes we bring a lot of negative things that we thought that this is the normal way of living. For example, if you grew up in an abusive household and that's all you knew, a lot of people think that's the way it's supposed to be. Because if he abused me and then tell me that he loves me, to that person who's been in that situation, think that's the normal thing to do. And when you're looking on the outside of that, and you understand abusive that's not the way to go, a lot of people are confused, because they say, okay, that's the way I grew up and that's all I know. But every day, people got to understand you're learning more and more about each other. You're learning more about the dislikes. You're learning more about the likes. You're learning how that person responds to different things, different situations. And then also you learn how that you're growing in certain areas. You don't normally stay the same from day one. When we first got married, things have not stayed the same. Things have changed because that person have grown. You've learned more about yourself as a person when you're committed to another person. You learn that there's some things that you like from the beginning, you don't like. Something that you dislike from the beginning, you start liking. So the commitment is that, are you willing to put up with all my faults? Is he willing to put up with all my faults? Am I willing to put up with all his faults in spite of everything that we go through? No one in a marriage is perfect. And marriage is not a 50-50 thing. Marriage is a lot of give, a lot of take, a lot of closing your mouth, a lot of times you want to say something, snap or whatever. You've got to learn that some of the things that might come out of your mouth can hurt that person for life. So you got to think about what you say and what you do from the beginning. Just don't blurt it out, because when words go out, it's already out there.
And I like the scriptural verse that speaks about soft words turn away anger. Harsh words stir up anger. So if you know that you want to keep peace within a marriage, you have to understand of how to talk one with the other. And I found out that in communicating, there's got to be a receiver on the other end. Both cannot speak at the same time.
Because no one's listening. So
to be a good listener,
right.
and not to be able to jump to conclusions. That's one of the things that happens in a marriage. There's always that one that's cut the other one off from actually expressing themselves. I think if you have the communication where you're able to express yourself one with the other, and actually find out exactly where they're coming from. There's times where in a marriage where one will jump to conclusions to not able to cast down what you call the high imagination. And the Bible speaks about that, cast down the high imagination and put it under subjection. But when you have that imagination that you're always right and the other person's wrong, then you have a problem with leadership within a home. man is supposedly, we speak about man is supposed to be the leader of the home, but he's got to understand about leadership of being in a home. He's got a helpmate. And that helpmate is just as strong as the leader, because the helpmate is the one that's always going to turn around and be by your side. So that's the thing that of coming together in a marriage, understanding that, you know, I don't have to walk around the house saying that I am the man of the house, because you have to understand that you have to know who you are.
Yes.
And my wife don't have to say that she's the woman of the house, because she knows who she is. So when you have two roles playing as one, that brings the home together.
All right.
Well said.
All right. Well, thank y'all for doing this brief snippet. Like I said, y'all, these are my parents, Marvin and Alicia Fields. They've been married for how long now?
32 years next month.
32 years next month. So y'all heard it from somebody who's been doing it for a while. This is not a game. We don't take it lightly in our family. We don't play with marriage. If that's something that you want to do, then we might as well stay boyfriend and girlfriend. And as far as being committed to your achieving and doing your goals, you heard from them about how it goes hand in hand. When your commitment level is strong with your partner and your relationship, it's also strong with the goals and everything that you guys want to do, because it's a mutual agreement that you come to. So without further ado, is the Mobile Motivator coming at y'all once again with my parents, Pastor Fields, and I'm not going to say first lady, because if you say first lady, then that means there's a possibility of a second and a third. So I would say the lady, Alicia Fields, coming at you as well. And I'm out, y'all. Mr. Motivator, aka Mr. Colgate. I'm out.